Red tops only, clear off. Hey, language.
Hiya.
Hello, mate. Hello. How you doing?
We have been together since 2020.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason. He's ever so
injunction.
He's ever so touchy-feely.
Look at this.
Ever so touchy-feely.
Look at your hair, the council.
He gets a bit frisky. Gets a bit frisky.
So, Paul Hines.
Hello.
It's the UK Open Championship weekend.
It is, yes. That's come around quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. And you've just had a very intimate moment with Mark Sargent.
That's one of many.
One of many.
One of many.
So we thought, let's chat to you because Good Friday, first time I'm meeting the season, you went out and won the final.
Yes.
So potentially in with a very good chance this weekend.
Oh, I think so, yeah. I've got the kit for it, haven't I? So we're struggled a little bit in the wet, if I'm honest. But when it's dry, it's really, really fast. So, hey, who knows? Yes. Who knows? We're there or thereabouts, aren't we?
So in Buxton last Sunday, I keep thinking it's Saturday, but
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah, you're right. I thought you were watching the racing in the heat, struggled a little bit,
I did,
and then
yeah.
kind of got quicker as it dried out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in the last race was pretty much dry. We got third in that. It was going well. I did struggle a little bit in the wet, just taking a bit of getting used to it, if I'm honest. But we'll get there. Just seat time in it, track time. It's not a bad thing it's raining today because we'll get some track time in it. So yeah, everything's a positive if you look at it in the right way.
Absolutely, I like that mantra.
Yeah.
It's good. Season so far, you delayed start. I think a lot of people kind of waiting on engines.
Yeah, frustrating. Yeah, valves it was. Valves, we just couldn't get them. No fault of anybody's whatsoever. They were ordered plenty of time. We just couldn't get them. We're like a lot of people. We were just waiting for it. Yeah. So frustrating because I don't like missing meetings, and it really told as well because I don't like missing the first shell meetings.
Yes.
That first thing is brilliant because we're all in the same boat. That's how we did it. You know what I mean? Refreshing your memory. Yeah. So the first meeting I did on Shell was Mildenhall.
Yes.
Oh my goodness me, that is a track you are on it straight away. There's so much happening. So I was a little bit rusty, I was, and I shouldn't be because I've been doing it long enough, but nonetheless, you still have to just get back into it a little bit. So it took me a bit of that weekend just to get, okay, that's what Shell racing is it? I forgot. So but back now.
And he's been very noisy. Can you still hear us? Good. It's your friend Chris Cowley.
Not my friend.
Look, he's not after Buxton.
Nah, we like Chris. Chris is good lad, we like him.
So you said about the damp weather. So we spoke to Sean Webster and he's kind of going about, I've got to put a rally tyre on the inside rear because we've got this trial piece.
Yes.
So what is explain to me like I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, so at the minute, obviously as the committee, we're always trying to find ways, if possible, to save money for the majority.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to do. So at the minute, there's a proposal put forward to run rally tyres on tarmac. So that's what the proposal is, and the proposal was that there was to be a trial for the first few meetings to see how that goes. That was voted that would happen, so that's what happened. So this week, the trial should have finished on Monday at Hennesford. And in truth, we had a committee meeting booked for Tuesday night to do that, to discuss it. But obviously, that's only a day after Hennesford and only 4 days away from Skegness. And it's difficult to make the decisions you need to make in that sort of time. We all work for a living, all that sort of stuff, so it's hard to do it. So the proposal was we continue the trial for this weekend. So there's fors and against for both sides. Okay, I'll go through my personal opinions in a moment, but as it is, if you are a Shell racer at the minute, you can run the Shell tyres that you've ran at, say Kings Lynn, that ordinarily you would now throw away. You can now run them today. In theory, that's free racing. You can't fault that. That's as cheap as it's ever going to be. These tyres sit in the garage. They're no good for anything. But you're going to run them today at Skegness. Brilliant. That is brilliant. Brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. So that's the plus. The not so good side, if you're a tarmac only driver, you haven't got that option. So now you have to find, you didn't have to find this before, you now have to find rally tyres to race on in this weather. Arguably, in the dry, American races that we normally run are quicker. So, you don't, a rally tyre is no advantage. But obviously today, a rally tyre is an advantage because it's wet and they'll always be quicker than those. So Buxton last week, you had to run a rally tyre. You had to. You wouldn't have got around an American racer. You wouldn't have been quick. So where you've saved it for one man, one driver, you're now making another driver spend money. So there's no right or wrong answer.
No.
It's just what's best for the majority.
So when this happened before, in terms of we ran rally tyres on the inside rear on tarmac, and there was always kind of a second-hand market, but then didn't they become quite expensive? So we're having to go and source brand new ones, and the rally tyres became expensive.
Yeah, and that's a strange thing, really. We've come off this once. We've had this once, and we thought, no, this isn't the way to go. And now we're sort of going back to it again. So that's a bit strange. It's a bit of a roundabout. I mean, we are stock car drivers, so we do go around in circles, so it sort of makes sense. But me personally, I think the tarmac job's okay.
Yep.
As it was, I think it's okay.
Yep.
You'd have got 60 cars at Skeggy,
Yep.
you'd have got 30 cars at Buxton, 25 to 30 at Hennisford. I don't think anything that we do with tyres would really change it, and so therefore we carry on as we are. Me personally, I like the fact that everyone's on the same tyre.
Yep.
At the minute, there's a case of if you can get a certain tyre, you've got an advantage.
Which we had before, didn't we? Which is why we kind of moved away from it.
But that's me personally.
Yeah.
And in truth, the way I sit, I'm quite an amicable person. I'm more than happy to go with the majority, if that makes sense, because I can absolutely see the reasons why someone would want to do it, but I can absolutely see the reasons why people don't want it.
Yeah.
So I am Switzerland. I am sitting in the middle. Me
you're
personally,
the
if I had to vote, I would not have rally tyres.
Yeah.
That's me personally. But you know, I can understand why people would want it. I personally think there's probably a common ground, maybe, that you say, okay, whites and maybe yellows can run them.
Yep.
You can't run them for championship meetings, and then obviously if you go up to blue, red, or whatever, you have to run then American races. That would be my thing.
And does that compromise in the sense of, because you've got to be very for or very against? Because I don't think many people are in the middle like you. I think
it's very Brexit, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are the middle or you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, but that said, Matt Newson, in fairness to him, he's ran every single meeting on old rally tyres. It's not cost him a penny to race. You can't get cheaper than that. That is the cheapest football racing you can get. So, you know, it'd be a shame to say to him, no, you can't do that, because he'd then say, well, I've now got to buy 10 American racers.
Yeah.
So that's not cost effective. But in the same way, he might have to buy 10 American racers. Today, if there's 50 drivers here, everyone's had to buy a rally tyre, or, you know, I mean, had to get a rim and a rally tyre, so 50 people have had to buy something. So it's hard. It's no right or wrong answer.
But I think from a committee point of view, it's the right thing to do to explore. Is this an option we can go down to save costs? Because that's what it needs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And we should always look at ways.
Yeah.
There's a little bit, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm a little bit in that camp at the minute. Yeah. The sport doesn't like change. Yeah. Every time you change something, it costs someone money.
Yes.
And times are hard, and change isn't always a good thing. So sometimes I think you're okay just to say, right, we are where we are. You know what I mean? It's all right. Yeah. We've got a decent number of cars. We know where we are. We've got, if anyone wants any second-hand tyres, there's plenty for sale. You know what I mean? So, you know, there is an argument to say that it's okay, but no, 100%. Also, you always have to look at ways to keep things going. Obviously, the winter was a difficult one. Every winter's difficult for different reasons, but this one was particularly so, more public than it usually is. You know, we find it hard to do every meeting, if that makes sense. I can only speak as a sport as a whole, and we haven't got the numbers we had before, and either we need to incentivise to get people to race, or cut the meetings down. This is me personally now, Paul Hines, not the committee. So to me, if I was a track owner, I would think of ways, if I could, to try and encourage people to race. I'm not going to tell anyone how to run a business because it's hard. However, if I was a promoter and this was my track today, I might say, if you did every Skegness meeting, I'd give you free practice next year. It's an incentive. And you might think, you know what, I'm going to do that extra meeting now because I'm going to get something out of it. Fair play to your stocks, they're doing track championships. So people go, oh, I'm going to go for that, I'm going to do that. If it was me, if you'd done every meeting at my track, the next year, the first meeting, I'd run a race for those people and I'd put £1,000 on it. 500 for the winner, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's only available for those that have done 6 out of 7 meetings or 7 out of 7 meetings. And you might get to that last meeting when it's chucking down the rain. You know what? I'm going to go and do that because it'll get me into the race next year and do that. So I'm not saying that we've got to spend a fortune doing that, but we have to either, we've got to look at everything, haven't we? And either incentivise people to race, which I think is important, or maybe cut meetings down a bit.
The numbers are, you say about the numbers have gone down, you know, but not significantly. There is still a good number of drivers registered and ready to race. Do you know what I mean? It's just getting them to the track, isn't it? And that's the thing.
There is. There is the same. There's still a lot of drivers out there, but there's still a lot of engine parts still to be getting. And all these things happen. It's still harder for people to race a little bit. Paul Harrison came up with a great point. If you've got a budget for the year, let's say £10,000. Your budget's £10,000. Well, 4 years ago, that might have got you 20 meetings. But now it might only get you 15. So and there's a lot of people like that, and you know, we're all the same.
That's what you do.
If you're a spectator,
life,
fan, whatever, you've got a certain amount of disposable income to spend on your hobbies, and if everything goes up, then you might have to take 1 or 2 down. So it's really hard, and don't get me wrong, I think it was really frustrating for me that it was seen that we were against promoters, if that makes sense, because I'm personally not. I want everything to be a success. There's nobody cares about the job more than me, if that makes sense. I'm passionate about it, and I want as many cars out there as possible. And we had a few things on Twitter and different things with different people, and I thought I got so frustrated because I want the best for everybody. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I want as many cars as we can. And to me, the best way of doing that is putting little incentives in, or maybe reduce the meetings down. Maybe do that, or at least have a chat about it. To go to extremes, and you never do this, of course, but if each track had 2 meetings a year, just 2, and they put £1,000 in every race, I guarantee 120 cars in the pits, 10,000 people, madness. It'd be crazy. But clearly, absolutely. 2 meetings a year isn't what we want to be.
No.
Go to the other extreme, they've got 100 meetings, and they don't pay anything at all, and there's no incentives. You'd get 5, 10 drivers, so, you know what I mean? It would be, it's silly. So at the minute, we're just at that stage where we've got to do something.
Yes.
We've got to try and do something, if we can. And that, to me, at the minute, the same thing is that times get hard, there's a lot of pressure on the committee to reduce costs for drivers, and that's hard to do. These are what they are now. We can't change diesel prices. We can't, you know, the shockers are what they are, the brakes are what they are, the engines are now what they are. We can't change that, sadly. It is what it is. We can't do a lot to reduce costs. So it can't always be down to the drivers to change it. We have to work with the promoters who are brilliant. Every single one of them are brilliant. They're good business people. They know what they're doing. They're fantastic. Look at the improvements that are happening to all the tracks. You know, just got to work together that little bit.
But like you say, it's kind of 2 parties, and coming together, you have a great product. You know, great stadiums, great entertainment. It's just getting together, isn't it?
I mean, again, the frustrating thing is for me now, there's nobody really marketing F1 stock cars as a whole. They're brilliant at promoting their tracks, and that's all they should really have to do. Really, why should Kings Lynn care how many people come to Skeggy, for example? It doesn't matter. But there's got to be now some sort of something that promotes what we do. There's so many things you can do: Facebook marketing, Twitter advertising, social media, pay-per-click campaigns, SEO. There's so much we could do, and I believe the BSCDA do a really good job of doing that, and we are doing that, if that makes sense. But again, we need help.
But it's a low level, isn't it? You know, what we do is not low level. That's the service. But you know, but you need to, the next step is bigger, isn't it?
Exactly that. So that's what we're trying to do. Chris Cowley's there now. He's causing trouble. I'm so passionate about it. In my job, I have to sell a new conservatory every week, if that makes sense. I haven't got any repeat business. So marketing's my life. It's what I care about. And I just see so many opportunities with this to do a similar sort of thing for not a lot of money. But it's who's going to do it, if that makes sense. I've got my business to run. I ain't got time, whatever, you know. And quite rightly, the promoters are only worried about their track, as they should be. I've no qualms about that. But somehow, some way, we've got to keep filling that bucket. I keep saying it. That bucket's full of water. And there's holes.
Your bucket analogy.
And there's water. And there's fans. You know, people for whatever reason they stop coming. You need to put some more stuff back into it, or else you know it's just going to keep going down. But you know, it's still a great product. Of course, it is. It's still fantastic people. There's still going to be a lot of people here at Skegness today. 56, 57 cars. That's great. Be good racing. Plenty of fans. So it's not bad at all.
Thank you. We've had a whistle-stop tour of like, but I understand it. I understand what you're telling me. I understand that, you know, and clearly how passionate you are that we want this to be good. And so
it's been my life, hasn't it? You know what I mean? It's been our lives, and I've got a little boy now. He's 7. I desperately want him to have something to race. So only will it'll be here because we won't go. It's too big to stop. But it's, you know, it'd just be so good. When we did the British Touring Car thing, they loved it. They couldn't believe how good this was. And like, these are motorsport people who had really no idea what we were. Oh, okay. Freddie Flintoff, he loved it. He thought it was amazing. There you go. You know what I mean? So, you know, if we just had that bit of organisation about us, bit of plan about us to go out and market what we do, and not just us. I'm an F1 guy, but the whole of oval motorsport. You know, there's some cracking saloons are brilliant now. F2s are brilliant. Mini stocks, how good are mini stocks? What a story they are. Kids racing cars on the tracks, amazing.
It's almost like you need it as a package, isn't it? So how do you package this? This is oval racing, and you will see this.
You know, it's such a wonderful world that we're in, and we just do our best to keep it quiet, I think. But it's what it is.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Have a good UK, and this didn't get too uncomfortable as well.
Is it okay?
It's okay.
Franks,
I've got like
you're Ryan Weld and all that, so it's just smoothed it over better than I would.
Thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks very much. Have fun. See you later.
So with 124, Kyle Gray, who won the UK Open back in 2019. Kyle, that was a good championship to win way back when. You were very young.
Yes, I was very young and I was a yellow top.
Yes,
pole yellow.
But that wasn't the only reason you won. You were very good.
The car was good. Everything sort of just went my way in that race, where you get races like that. I mean, obviously I was fortunate to be pole. I don't know whether I was pole blue or back blue. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But Courtney, to be fair, in that race, she'll never let me forget it because I hit her onto Craig Utley, and then that took her out the race. So she never lets me forget that. But she was very quick, and I was lucky to sort of catch her. But no, then we was lucky enough to obviously win it. So
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. How's this season going?
Should we talk about 2019?
Yeah. I thought we'd jump forward a little bit.
Yeah, not good.
No.
The thing is, it's hard at the moment because we're doing our cars outside.
Oh, okay.
That's not an excuse or anything like that, but it's just I'm not doing them to the standard that I want to do them.
Okay.
Because obviously we work outside all day. So the last thing I want to do is do the cars outside all day.
So why are you doing them outside?
Because we're in the process of building a workshop.
Right, okay.
But it's not done yet.
Right.
So they're in a container, after work, drag them out of the container, work on them.
You don't want to do that, do you?
No.
No.
So it's sort of partially probably my own fault of lack of maintenance.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to do the bare minimum, but bare minimum to be competitive. Do you know what I mean? And you can't really do that in the sport if you want to be good.
Yeah.
But we're on the up, I'd like to say.
Okay, good.
Things are getting a bit better.
So I saw your shell car at Simpsons. It
Yes.
was down at you, so I was like, yeah, you know, we're kind
So
of...
the plan was at the end of last season, both cars were going to get redone.
Yeah.
Everything, but just nothing happened.
Okay.
Nothing happened. So they sort of just stayed as they are.
Yeah.
Just re-nerfed them. Re-nerfed both of them and just come
Well, I
racing.
think, you know, when people talk about stock cars, and they do talk, it's the time in the garage, don't they? They go, it's the time in the garage that wins your races on track. It's it's almost like a cliche saying, but what you're talking about is very, very true.
Yes, no. And don't get me wrong, we can still do what we would do inside the workshop, outside the workshop.
Yeah.
You can still do it outside, but it's the whole mentality of it all. Like, I know, because I took my car to Catherine's, my tarmac car, to re-nerf it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to do it outside because bare steel, all that rubbish. And I enjoyed it so much more doing it inside,
Because you're
proper
with
workshop.
Catherine. Was Catherine there?
Yes.
Yes, she was. That's why you enjoyed it, not because it's nice and warm, because you were there. Yeah, that's nice.
But no, it made me realise how much difference it actually is doing it in the workshop. Because even like this week, or the week before when we were prepping Pennisford, even if it's raining, still got to get the car done because you want to go racing. Do you know what I mean? And then, so when you get the bad results as well, it's like, do you know what I mean?
How do you pick yourself up and do it?
Don't get me wrong, we had a win last Skegness, and that was good. I always enjoy it here. I always enjoy Skegness, but that's where I've had my most success at Skegness. So it's always sort of not for me. It's a night. I do like this track. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so we're just shale car. We're doing a few different things to it. But hopefully in the near future we'll be getting a new shale car. So it'll be a bit quicker on shale as well. But
so, you know, like when you start a season, everybody goes into a new season going, right, new season, fresh start, and then it must be kind of
I do that every season, and it never works.
But then, we're now in May, and it's almost like you've got to pick yourself up and kind of go, right, we need to get going, and it must be quite tough to do that.
Yeah, it's... Don't get me wrong, like, I love my racing, always have done, and it's... When you're doing it outside and all that stuff, like, if it's just so, like, you've got to get yourself going, it's like, come on, we've got to, do you know what I mean? But when you're here, it's different, it's enjoyable, do you know what I mean?
And I think certainly at Skegness, weekends at Skegness always have a special feel about them, don't they? And, 60-yard cars, and it's everybody's looking forward to a good weekend's racing.
Yes, no, definitely.
And you're feeling confident?
So.
Good.
It's raining.
Do you like the rain?
I absolutely hate the rain, but I always seem to do not too bad in the rain.
Why do you hate the rain?
I think it just ruins the atmosphere, if you know what I mean. Like, to be fair, today it seems fine, but like when it's absolutely, I can't swear, can I? No. When it's absolutely hammering it down with rain, so everyone's hiding in their transporters, and it's like you're more waiting for the meeting to be over than looking forward to going out for your next race. Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
But then when shale, it's really weird. It's like when shale's absolutely bogging, I love it. I love wet shale. It's brilliant. But even on the shale side, like this year, we've been chasing a misfire.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the only time it will misfire is when it's under load. So I'll say to Dad on track, "Oh, it's misfiring," and then I'll get off track. He'll go, "Well, it's not misfiring." So
I'm not lying.
So we've been fighting that battle at the start of the year, but we've finally found that.
Good.
So that's
crossed.
Yeah.
So fingers, yeah, like I say, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And I hope that you get the time again.
Yeah.
And Catherine will be happy. She'll be happy. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Cheers.